Hey guys, it's Josh here and welcome back to another speed build. So today's build is a simple forest cabin built using lots of the new objects that came with the amazing Realm of Magic pack. So I ended up using so many of the items, and one thing I loved about the items is that most of them have these amazing wooden tones that all synergize perfectly with each other, and as well as some other objects from different packs and even base game, because one thing I've always had a problem with was the fact that the wooden objects in the game didn't always have the same swatches. But honestly, with the recent packs, I'm pretty sure that EA and Maxis have upped their game, and they've been doing a lot. They're putting a lot more effort into making their wooden objects match a lot better, because it was so easy to get everything to match nicely. Like all of the objects that came with Realm of Magic match pretty well with like the season stuff, with base game stuff, with cats and dogs I believe as well. Like I used some things from cats and dogs as well which fit amazingly with the stuff from Realm of Magic. And as you can see right now, this house will be fairly small. This is a 1-bedroom home. I didn't want to do something too massive because when I do that, I end up just like losing motivation and I scrap my builds. Like if you could see my map screen on my builds world, you'd see how many scrapped builds there are, because there's just so many houses that I just lose motivation. Sometimes I go back and like finish them, but most of the time they just end up getting saved to my gallery and I just build something else on top of them instead. It took me quite a while to find a nice little wall for my little cabin. Like I've never really built a cabin before, so it was kind of a bit tricky to find something that I liked. I think for the time being I do use this regular base game timber paneling that doesn't even have any swatches for it, so that was a lot of fun. But I think I ended up using something from Outdoor Retreat in the end. And also one thing I do is put a roof on a half wall, which is a nice little technique that became available when the terrain tools were updated, because I feel like it looked a lot better to have a slightly higher roof, because one thing I hate is when roof trimmings clip into each other. They just look so random and so bad, so it was really nice. Onto the interiors now, and as you can see, this house is very small, and at this point in time there's not even any bedroom yet, but don't worry, that will get added in later. I don't know what's up lately, but recently I've been forgetting to add rooms until halfway through my build. Like I don't know what's up with that, but don't worry, there'll be a bedroom added in later, and it gets added to the back left of the house, or back right of the house rather, and it's just a simple bedroom with a double bed and a couple of just new decorations from Realm of Magic. And I almost said Island Living just then. I use a lot of windows from base game in this build because I feel like they suit a cabin the most. I do end up using one of the open windows from Island Living as well, but thinking back to it now, I might actually change that, since maybe it's not the best choice to have an open window in a potentially very cold forest. Like I haven't played in winter yet, but I'm pretty sure Glimmerbrook gets ridiculously snowy in winter, because it just seems like it would be the place to be. Like it seems like a place you'd go to enjoy the snow, because it seems very mountainous as well, apart from the nice forest. And obviously when you go to the portal, there's a huge cliff, so Glimmerbrook must be at some high altitude. We are just placing the roofs down as well, and one thing I don't like about building really traditional style cabins and similar buildings is that I hate roofing. I just have so much trouble building roofs in the Sims. Like I could never do it in Sims 3, I could never do it in Sims 4, and I just have so much trouble making a nice little roof. Like I don't know how other people do it. Where can I learn to do roofs? One thing I decided to do for this house is try and keep technology to a minimum, because I'd imagine that they wouldn't have much electricity in Glimmerbrook. So now, thinking back to it, I probably shouldn't have even put a simple TV down. I think the only piece of technology I put down is the TV, and thinking back to that now, I probably shouldn't have. Like, I probably could have put not even anything else, like no electronics, because pretty much the whole house has no electronics except for the TV. So maybe I will delete that, or you can delete that, I guess, because maybe there's some sort of generator that they have that could power the TV, but even then, would they have any channels? in this location. Like, I don't really imagine so. But anyway, moving on to the kitchen and moving on into the furnishings now, starting with the kitchen as per usual. I decided to use the new Realm of Magic kitchen counters, which I love because they match so well with the wallpapers they added into the game. Like, the counter wooden part blends so well into the wooden part of the wall tiling as well, which I thought looked amazing. And I love the new bookshelves as well. Like, pretty much everything in this pack is amazing. I must say, overall, I am really impressed with the objects that came with Realm of Magic, since most of the wooden objects match pretty well with existing furniture, and I am 100% for matching wooden swatches because it was always a hassle to try and find matching swatches for objects that came with the earlier packs. Like, for example, the wooden objects that we got from Outdoor Retreat, they had nice wooden swatches, but half of them were these weird ones that didn't match with anything in the game, so it was a bit tricky to use with existing furniture. Like, I'm pretty sure the whole pack matched with itself, but it didn't really match that easily with existing base game stuff, because I'm pretty sure it was the first game pack, so I will give them that. Like, it's the first pack, it wasn't meant to be like groundbreaking or anything, so I'm not too fast, but it was just, I've never really used the stuff from Outdoor Retreat because of that reason. It's just hard to use. But unlike that, Realm of Magic adds lots of wooden objects that match fairly well with the overall game itself, with the existing furniture. And with their recent packs, they've definitely upped their swatch game, which I'm really happy with, and I hope they continue. Moving on now, this is when I finally realized that I didn't even have a bedroom, because I was about to go and furnish the bedroom until I realized, oops, we don't even have one. So I'm just adding it in right now, and it turned out fairly nice. Like, it didn't make the house look ugly or anything, at least in my opinion, but I did have to shuffle around the interior a little bit and move some things, but in the end it worked out quite nice. And I really liked the secondary doorway onto the back veranda, because I don't often do verandas on my houses, but it was really cool to be able to do that for once. And I was going to try and like add in one of those bay windows, is that what they're called? But I decided not to, and I just used some of the arched windows, which I think looked pretty cool in the end. And obviously there'll be lots of plants later on, because outside right now is pretty much empty, but they'll get a lot of plants and a nice little garden area as well for your Sims that like to garden. But here we are furnishing the bedroom now, and I think it turned out quite nice. As I mentioned earlier, the Outdoor Retreat objects, most of the swatches don't match, but one of them that does is the dark wooden swatch, so I ended up using that for this build, because I don't think I've ever used Outdoor Retreat objects like for my builds, because I just don't think it ever suits the build I'm doing. So it was kind of fun to like use objects that I've never used as well. Like, even the dining table and desk, I don't think I've ever used those before, because I never ever build a house with like a traditional styling. Like, I always build a modern house or an industrial house, and it never suits the type of build I'm building. And as you can see, I'm doing this weird thing with mirrors right now, because one thing I hate about the windows, I mean, not windows, what am I talking about? Mirrors, is that you can't like drag them anywhere on the wall like with paintings. Like, it makes sense because the Sims kind of have to look at them, and it wouldn't make sense if there was a window, I mean, if there was a mirror on the ground, like you can with the paintings, and your Sim is trying to like psych themselves up or something. It makes sense. But it's just a little bit annoying to not have that option if you wanted to. Like, they could have these non-functional windows that reflect surfaces, but you can't interact with them. Like, that would be perfect. And I know that you can, like, I've made CC where you can move windows anywhere and your Sims can still use them. Like, they don't have to. Like, I just wish we had that option to move them anywhere without CC, but without cheats as well, because obviously I achieved what I wanted to, but I had to use cheats for that because it wouldn't let me otherwise. But anyway, we're getting to the stage where we're almost ready to start cluttering it up, and some of the decorations that we got with Realm of Magic just are amazing. I wouldn't use them normally in regular builds, but it doesn't surprise me that they just go so well in a cabin environment. Like, I love the little herbalist kind of wall decorations, like the recipes and like little potions and stuff, as you can see. And it was a nice opportunity to use some of the stuff from Cats and Dogs as well, because they've got a few historic themed decorations as well. And one of my favorite pieces from this pack was actually this little decoration you can see right now, it's kind of like a little holder. Although it doesn't have any clutter slots on it, which was a bit shocking, I did use some cheats to place some fruit on top of it, which I thought was really nice. Like, it's like your own little DIY fruit bowl, because I really love placing fruit bowls in my builds, but I don't think any of them would have really fit this style of build. So I just kind of like made my own with the stuff from Realm of Magic, which I thought was really cool looking. And I also placed down, oh, I think I did this at the start, but obviously this house doesn't really have electricity, so they've got the little wood stove and they've got the little fridge. Like, is that even a fridge that would normally have electricity? Because it seems like a fridge that would like, it's not really a fridge at all, it's just like a place to, it's like a pantry kind of thing, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't really see that specific object as an actual fridge. I see that as a pantry, which I think suits this build as well, because I don't really see this house having that much electricity. Like, I probably shouldn't even have put that TV down there, but I did, just so your Sims can have something to do. But you can easily delete that and put put down like a chess table or something instead of it. But anyway, I think we're pretty much ready to start placing in the clutter now. I think that's what I've been doing, right? So we're just placing some more clutter down, and one thing I love are the magical tomes. They're just so great for decorations in a build like this. I still haven't really played much of Realm of Magic, like the gameplay yet, but I love being able to like show off your wands and stuff with the storage thing. We are nearing the completion of the cluttering stage of the house. I did skip over some of it since it was taking quite a while to, but I'm sure you'll be able to take a quick look in the screenshots at the very end if you want to see it clearly. But anyway, I think we're pretty much done with the interiors now, and we are changing the exterior wooden paneling now, because as I mentioned at the very start, I just really wasn't feeling the base game ones anymore, so I ended up using the outdoor retreat ones, which I think look a lot better. It's kind of like the same, but it's less rugged or less grungy, if you get what I'm saying, because like the base game ones have these nails at the bottom and top and like these dirt little marks at the bottom, which made it look a bit odd. Well, it made it look odd for this build because, as you can tell, the wood is not even touching the ground, so it wouldn't really make sense to have dirt up there on the wooden plank. The back area is a little bit small, but there is a nice little floristry area for your Sims that want to do flower arranging, and there's also a workbench for your handy Sims as well. And obviously there's that large area to the right hand side of the house, which ends up getting a nice little fenced off garden. So if your Sims like the garden, they could replace all the plants there with their own, and they can have a fairly big garden. It's not a giant garden, but it's like fairly sizable. I believe there's 18 spots for plants. Like, that's how many plants you can plant. The pathway to the garden is being built now, and I used the fence from Island Living because I really loved how it just looked like it just looked like tree logs used as the fence itself, which I thought fit this build very well. I was a bit sad that we didn't get any matching gate for it, but I still found a base game one which matched quite nicely. And this is what I'm talking about, like, even though the gate is base game, it still goes pretty well with stuff from Island Living. Like, as I said, they've upped their swatch game quite a lot, and I love it so much. And at first I was trying to find vines and stuff in debug, but for some reason the only thing I could find were the trees. I couldn't find like the grapevines or tomato vines or anything like that. So instead I ended up placing just regular plants, as you can see right now, but you can quite easily delete those and place your own, or plant your own, or get your Sims to plant your own plants so your Sims can grow their own fruits and stuff. Pretty much the only thing left to do now is the exterior landscaping, so I'll just leave you guys off here. There will be screenshots at the very end of this video, so if you're interested in those, definitely stay tuned. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye guys!